What is going on, guys? Before I talk about that horrible performance in Landover, Maryland against a Washington football team by our Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to go ahead and explain that this week's going to be a little different as far as the post-game goes. I sat and took notes on my iPhone throughout the game, and basically I'm just going to go off of that. I'm going to start reading some of my notes. I'll expand on some of the comments I made, and then we'll go from there and just talk a little bit about it. So let's go and get started. First quarter, I wrote down D-Law got pressure to the quarterback, missed the sack. So he wasn't horrible in this game as far as defensively goes. He was probably one of, I'm not going to call him a bright spot, but I'm just going to say the defensive ends did make a couple plays here and there. Washington running all over the place, and that was the whole game. Pre-snap motion, throwing the defense off. Yeah, it seemed like early on Washington was getting pretty creative on offense, and that was just killing us. 4th and goal with inches to go. Defense gets a big stop and some push inside. So that point in the game, I'm thinking, that was a bad first drive for our defense, but at the same time, they got that big stop on 4th and inches on the goal line. I'm like, maybe we could build on that, right? Dalton sacked on 3rd down the second he drops back. So that was a little dramatic. He dropped back, started running right because no one was open, and he got sacked almost immediately. Antonio Gibson cars our defense, lost another game in the first quarter. So I think the score was 9-0 on this point. We gave up the safety. The second drive for Washington, they come back and score a touchdown. Dalton's got no time in the pocket. We're not able to really establish the run very well. At this point, I'm thinking the game is pretty much over at 9-0. We make it 9-3, and it still felt like it was over. So I think I was pretty accurate in that in the first quarter, we had pretty much gifted the game away. At this point of the game, I'm thinking fire everyone on the coaching staff and have a fire sale with the players. Create cap space, and get more draft picks. I wrote that down, and that is being a little dramatic, don't get me wrong. But, I do think fire coaching staff has some umph to it. Last week, we should have fired Mike Nolan. This week, probably fire Mike McCarthy. But looks like we're a little late on it, like we always are. So maybe this week we'll get rid of Mike Nolan and try and do something a little better defensively. I'm not saying getting rid of the coaches will solve a problem. I'm just saying that's one of the problems, right? The coaching staff just isn't doing anything to give this team any kind of umph. I don't see what they're bringing to the table. I really don't see what Mike Nolan's bringing to the table at this point. So I would think replacing him would be priority one, and then maybe give Mike McCarthy like one more chance with a new defensive coordinator. Who knows? Let's see. Maybe Pollard can return kick, 66-yard return. So, yeah, we finally got a nice return out of Tony Pollard this week. That was kind of big to see, and he had a decent game. Again, him and Zeke both didn't have a lot of holes to run into. So, they had their fair share of struggles. But, Pollard had a couple nice plays, had a little something to build on. Sweep to Cooper for positive yards. So I just wrote that down because I like the play call. Which, by the way, first and second quarter, I wrote down a ton. Rest of the game, not so much. So it's not going to be that long. So stick with me. But yeah, I like that we finally ran a sweep to the wide receiver against the blitz. He only got 5 yards there, but it was forward momentum at least, and we didn't do enough of it. We ran too much into them stuff in the box throughout the game with mostly Zeke. Still no answers for Washington's pressure. And yeah, so that play, we got 5 yards when we ran the sweep to, who was it, Cooper. But then the next play, it was like another where they got 8 guys in the box. We run the ball down the middle with Zeke and get nothing. And that was a big story throughout the game. It's been a big story all season. Jalen Smith celebrating an obvious pass interference call. So yeah, he has his back turned, tackles the guy. If he didn't touch the guy, it would have been good coverage and they wouldn't have called it. But it was obvious that he touched him and it was going to be pass interference. And he's still getting up, clapping, celebrating. It's just frustrating, man. Jalen Smith had that one good game. I think it was against New York a couple weeks ago. Hasn't shown up since. Didn't show up prior. And what we're seeing out of the linebacker core in general is pretty ugly. With Van Der Esch back, it's kind of got you missing Joe Thomas a little, right? So next I put, did Everson Griffin just get a sack on 3rd down? My eyes must be deceiving me. So yeah, I think PFF will be pretty decent towards DeMarcus Lawrence and Everson Griffin this week. I think they might have played okay games, maybe, just maybe. I mean, it was nice seeing Griffin get a sack when it kind of mattered on third down. Obviously, it didn't matter as far as the game goes, but it mattered at the time. Now in the second quarter, Washington defense making everything tough on us, and it felt like that the whole game, right? So their defensive line was as advertised, constantly pressuring the quarterback, able to stop the run, and their secondary was underrated, better than advertised. I mean, I've been talking about Kendall Fuller all week, but it goes understated. They were very good in coverage throughout the game. I mean, even when Dalton found a couple seconds in the pocket, guys weren't really getting open that often, so... It seems like Amari Cooper was the only one who was just, his route running so good, he just burns everybody. Where am I? Oh. Play calling better to start the second quarter. So for a few minutes there, we had a little drive going, and I think we ended up punting. I don't remember. Rollout to Dalton Schultz. I liked that play call. A little Dalton rollout. Schultz was wide open. He got 10 yards, 10, 15 yards. And Schultz continues to kind of impress. I like what I see from him. And I think he'll be a good tight end for us moving forward. He's kind of earning a little more playing time even when Blake Jarwin comes back next year. Fourth and goal. Oh, no. It keeps bringing me back to the first quarter. Sorry. So... Lamb's starting to have drops, and yeah, he had like 3 or 4 in the game, so that was a bit concerning. Now, a couple of them were tough, so I don't know if I'd call them drops. They were tough plays to make, but like even in the fourth quarter, Dalton made a really nice throw, and it was on the money, and DeShazer Everett from the safety on the Washington football team made a nice play on the ball, but still, it was right there for CeeDee Lamb to go out and get. I'm not too concerned. You know, he graded pretty well, but man, he had a couple drops. It's a little worrisome. Because I think he had one last week as well. Washington getting pressure and good coverage, so more of the same. I've already said that. Diggs with illegal contact and still gets burned by Scary Terry. I put looks worse the more we coach him. So yeah, I mean it's a thing. Like Diggs looked really good to start the season, and then the coverage slowly gets worse. Although it really hasn't been that bad. I think that was kind of being dramatic because later in the game he started to step up and make some plays. Had a couple. Almost interceptions, would be interceptions. So, I mean, I'm still liking the fight I see out of Diggs. He definitely got burned on that play by Terry McLaurin, though. But McLaurin's been doing that to teams. He's that one weapon Washington does consistently have, right? Dalton getting hit on 35+% of the plays at that time. Are we better off bringing in someone mobile? So I saw that coming earlier, even before he took the big hit. I'm like, the offensive line play is so bad. Dalton just doesn't have a chance back there. Like, are we almost better off bringing in a guy who just can run? Maybe even a bigger guy that could take some hits that can at least run around the pocket. I mean, because Dalton was trying to. I mean, give the guy some credit, but man, he had nothing to work with in that pocket. Next, I said bad penalty on Van Der Esch on 3rd and 5. He's struggling, got hurt. Hopefully he's okay, but I think he was fine. I think he was in a couple plays later. Does he need to retire? Again, probably a little dramatic when I said that, but I mean, it is looking like that. Like he's getting nicked up on a lot of plays. So I think that's twice now in the 2 games he's been back where it looked like he was hurt for a few minutes there. If he gets any more major injuries, he is young, but you've got to think, is he going to have a long career in the NFL, at least for the Dallas Cowboys? I just don't see it. And he was not playing great before the injury, and he's not playing great after. And maybe it'll just take him some time to work his way back into playing shape, and that's what I'm hoping, because what we're seeing out of the linebacker core is just bad, and Van Der Esch is definitely part of that, right? He's just not playing that great. He's trying, but he's got to produce better. He's out there tackling guys, but man, we got to do a better job of stopping the run. I know he doesn't have that much help, but still. Let's see. Good pressure from Dorrance Armstrong. How was that not a sack? So yeah, he had a really good rush where he had his arms around Kyle Allen. He just didn't quite bring him down, but that was nice to see. So another decent pass rusher. Keep giving the guy snaps, right? See if he can keep producing and perform. It's driving me crazy. It keeps going back to the first quarter on me. Let's see. Alden Smith walks off the field with injury. Where is Randy Gregory? Yes, I noticed Alden Smith went off. I don't remember if he returned from that. At that point in the game, I had not seen Randy Gregory in the game. Doesn't mean he wasn't. I just didn't see him until the fourth quarter, and we'll mention that in a little bit. Jalen Smith with decent coverage, but then misses the tackle. Tight end gets a touchdown. Lazy tackle attempt, just not physical enough. So this is where I'm kind of questioning, did he just not want that tackle enough? Because he was right there on coverage. He was a little bit behind, so he was never going to be able to make a play on the ball. But he was right there to make the tackle, and he just didn't wrap him up. He just didn't tackle him. I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's lazy or if he's just not physical. But he let the guy get a touchdown. I think it was the tight end, maybe Logan Thomas. I don't remember. But still, come on, Jalen. You got to make the play there. He got paid, and that's not what you want to see out of one of your big money players, right? 45 was the over-under point spread. Why did I not make that bet? Well, because I would have been wrong. So it did not reach 45, but it could have. I mean, if Washington really wanted to score more points in the second half, they probably could have, right? So, yeah, I mean, good point, but I was wrong. Zeke looks decent today. Not a ton of space, but hasn't turned the ball over. Yes, I'm not going to put much blame on Zeke. I know the interception was a little bit on him, but that came after I said that. But, yeah, I mean, he was averaging like 4 yards a carry. Didn't really have anywhere to run. I mean, they only gave him the ball maybe 15 times, if that. But, I mean, that's kind of on the offensive line and just play calling for not being able to get anything going. I mean, he had a couple 10-yard runs. He was at least able to protect the ball in the run game. So I'm not going to go too hard on Zeke this week, or Pollard for that matter. And he's also doing a great job back there blocking as well. If you're Mike McCarthy, what do you even say at halftime? Players just aren't buying in. And yeah, I'm completely spot on with that, right? I don't know what he would have told the team. Just got to get something going, I guess. I mean, but it's clear to me that the players just aren't buying into whatever the coaching staff is selling. And that's a big concern right now. I said Dalton looks solid, making throws, just has no time. The guys aren't open. Not saying he looks great. So that was the comment right before the interception he made. But up until that point, man, the little 10-yard routes and stuff, he was making throw on the 5-yard routes, the 10-yard routes. Like, he wasn't missing guys. Up until the next play, where interception thrown behind Zeke, a little on Zeke, a little on Dalton. So it was on Zeke's shoulder, and it went right through his hands, but it was really on Dalton. Dalton threw the ball behind Zeke. Maybe the timing was off. I don't know, but that's the first throw. I was like, oh gosh, okay, that's definitely on Dalton. And that killed us, because that could have made it 22-10 going into the halftime, and maybe had a little chance, because we saw Washington didn't really do much on offense the rest of the game. I don't know if they were really trying to, but I mean, they were trying to move the ball, that's for sure. But there were a couple like 4th and shorts where they might have gone for it if they really had their foot on the pedal. And they just didn't bother. They missed a field goal. They could have gone for that kind of thing. Moving on to the third quarter, and this is where I didn't have that much more to say. Lamb with another drop, 3 or 4 this game, some easier catches to make than others. So I've already said that. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb didn't play the greatest of games. He had the slant was one of them, and it didn't really show the ball placement that well there. So I don't know if that's on him, if it's on Dalton, or if it was just a tough catch to make. But, man, it looked like he could have taken that, 30, 40 yards possibly if he did have that catch. So, CeeDee Lamb's had great hands so far this season. Really been stepping up, making plays. Haven't seen it this week. Didn't see it much the week before. So, a little concerned, but he's a rookie. He'll get it, I'm hoping. I don't want to see him start regressing his rookie year under this coaching staff, though. And that is a slight concern of mine. 22-3 in the third. No real reason to take more notes. Correct. The story of the game has already been told. And I was right. I mean, the game barely changed from that point. I think it was 25-3 at the end. I don't remember. 28-3. I don't know. But story had been told, right? What a cheap trash hit to Dalton. Surely they eject whoever hit him. And it was John Bostic, and he was ejected. And it was horrible. One of the worst hits I've seen in a while. I mean, he had given himself up. He'd slid. And Bostic came in with the shoulder right to his helmet and put him out for at least the rest of this game. and hopefully he'll be okay moving forward. I think he was just shooken up. He definitely had a concussion, but maybe he'll be fine next week. I'm really worried about him, though, with this offensive line. And then when he takes off running like that, he's putting his heart out there, man. He's trying to make plays for you, but the team's just not willing to help him out. What was sickening, and I'll brought it up a little later as well, is just nobody on that offensive line has any fight after they see that happen to Dalton, the cheap hit. I'm not condoning that you start a fight, but come on, man. Shove them back. They're going to do something like that. Like, really, dude? So that they just let their quarterback take a hit. And it's not like it's Dalton's fault that Dak got hurt. I mean, it's not like they benched Dak for Dalton or something crazy like that and that the team's pissed off about it, right? Dalton is just doing his job, man. He's just trying to help the team win. He's doing all the right things. Like, what do you want the guy to do? So to not have his back, it's pathetic. It's embarrassing. So that's all I have to say about the offensive line this week. So nobody even had Dalton's back. Yeah, so I just addressed that. Okay, Ben DiNucci, what a throw to Cooper. So I meant, okay, Ben DiNucci. Like, that throw to Amari Cooper, 32 yards. That was a dime. That was awesome. And then, like, we ruined him. He started seeing ghosts after that. Second down, he gets sacked. Third down, he gets sacked and fumbles. And I'm like, oh, God. Let's see where I was. We're going to get DiNucci killed too. Yep. Good pass breakup by Diggs on Terry. So this is when, on Terry McLaurin, this is when Diggs started making a couple plays. He made a break on that pass and made a play on it. I think it was like a little, I don't even remember what the route was, but it was a nice play by Diggs, and he kept fighting the rest of the game. So again, seeing good things from Diggs, just putting in the effort, being physical, that kind of things. That's all you can expect out of a rookie defensive back, right? If we could see that out of everybody, I think we'd be more content with what was going on. When the coverage is good, the other team still makes the play. And a lot of times it's someone like Diggs, or Anthony Brown one time, I think is what I wrote that on, made the right coverage, made the right read. He's blanketed the guy, but the guy still makes a play, and Brown has his back turned and just doesn't make a play on the ball, is what I'm trying to say. So that's, again, happens to us at least once a week, if not like 5 times a week. Is anybody shocked Terrence Steele wasn't drafted? I think I saw somebody say that on Twitter, and I had to repeat it. Yeah, I mean, he undrafted free agent. Well, wonder why? Because he sucks. I mean, he's trying. It ain't working, man. So you got to sign some kind of tackle to at least keep the quarterback from getting killed. Maybe not. Maybe we won't. Maybe we're just in tank mode. But you think at least respect the quarterback enough to give him like formidable NFL guys blocking for him, so he just doesn't get completely demolished out there. Okay, fourth quarter. So I just have a few things for the fourth quarter. Is the Jones family going to try to say they like how the defenses competed in the second half because Washington didn't score much? Please no. Yeah, so what I'm saying here is, you know how the Jones family likes to spin it? Well, guys, in the second half, I thought defense came out there and made some adjustments. And, well, guys, I thought they had something to build on moving forward. And no, Jerry, no, we didn't make adjustments. We didn't have anything to build on. If anything, Washington just didn't need to try as hard in the second half. I mean, defense sucked. Let's not make any excuses for us this week, Jerry. And let's get rid of that defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan. Next, I think I got 3 more notes. First time I saw Gregory in the fourth quarter. Yeah, so I didn't notice him making any plays, but he was out there some in the fourth. And, yeah, get the guy as much burn as possible. If you noticed him there on the field, notice him make any plays or not make any plays, let me know in the comments and let me know what you saw, because I didn't see much tape, but I know he was out there some later in the game. 6 sacks against us. Sheesh. Yeah, and it felt like it could have been like 10 or 12. Like, it was that bad. You're not beating anybody when you give up 6 sacks. And these aren't like coverage sacks. A lot of these are just like immediate pressure everywhere. Couple sacks in a row. Like, how did we not give up 10 sacks that game? It was that bad. Last comment. Looked like Antoine Woods was going at it with a couple of Washington's guys, and I guess one of our players was trying to like break him up, that kind of thing. And Antoine Woods goes and pushes his own teammate. I didn't catch who it was, But, dude, I'm just like, maybe even cut him after something like that. That's just unacceptable. It's uncalled for. And it really shows you what you have with the coaching staff right now. The team is just imploding from within. I don't see stuff like this happening in the Jason Garrett era. I'm not saying the football was any better, which it was, but it wasn't great. It was very vanilla. But at the same time, teammates weren't turning on each other. They weren't turning on the coaching staff. They were putting in effort, that kind of thing. Like that was just ugly, and it summed up this game. So, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this game this week. I'm sure I'll collab with somebody about it. Maybe J-Tuck, maybe Law, that kind of thing. I'm friends with the Eagles fan, so I'm planning on having him on this week as well. I'll definitely do the game grades probably tomorrow or the next day. So that'll have a little bit more talking about how the guys played. But I just wanted to go through the notes, and I think that made it a little more detailed so I didn't miss a bunch of plays that I wanted to talk about. So let me know what you thought about this format, because I might start doing this a little more. If you don't enjoy me just like sitting there reading from my phone and going off of that, then let me know in the comments, right? And I'll move forward differently. But anyways, that's about all I have to say. I do want to mention, I know how there wasn't a video on Sunday. I am recording this video right after the game Sunday. I didn't have a video for Sunday morning. Usually I put out that Madden franchise mode video on Sunday morning. I was going to record it, I think, on Friday or Saturday. EA servers were down all day, and I got to thinking about it, and then I put an hour and a half into those videos, and I don't think I'm really getting any traction with those. I don't think anybody really cares to watch them. Nobody's really commenting on them. I'm only getting like 10, 12 views for most of them. And I'm not enjoying playing Madden this year that much, to be completely honest. I'm just not having fun with it. So unless someone comments otherwise, that they really want to see more of that series, which I can always continue it. I can always do a couple games next week or so and get caught up. But I'm probably just going to not do that. I might just not have any videos come up on Sundays. Guys, I'll still have videos up pretty much every day. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments. I'll take your feedback and go from there, right? I want to give the fans what they want to see. So if you want a video every day, I'll figure it out. But for now, we're probably going to get a video up like 5-6 days a week, and it just won't be the Madden video, that kind of thing. So I might not have videos up on Sundays moving forward. Maybe every once in a while I'll do a live stream before or after the game. But that's about it, guys. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for some more daily Dallas Cowboys content. And hopefully we'll be better moving forward, but don't count on it. I'm out. Peace.